Look, bro, Oda's gonna do Oda things. Whether or not we approve over here in the West or not, it is what it is, right? Oda's the same guy. What was it? And I know people got on Sandman for this, even though he just quoted Oda. I think it was in SBS. He quotes Oda, but he used the P word, the P-E-D, bear. It was about S-Snake, bro. Where S-Snake can turn people into stone. The CP agents, Usopp and Lilith, got turned to stone too. And then it's explained that basically it's not an attraction thing, but it's a cute thing. Where because she's so cute, you can turn to stone. Oda and SBS. S-Snake has the ability to catch people off guard with its emotions, such as cute. We all think babies are cute. If you are petrified by there's no way to determine what emotion petrified you. It's not exposed. You must be petrified. Audience, ask Oda, what if I'm petrified by Hancock? Japan's just different, man. Epstein has no issues in Japan. 0. Okay. At the chronological age of 10, here we go. At the chronological age of 10, before time skip, Bonney has formed her own crew, sailed the Grand Line, became a supernova, etc. At 10, Bonney was clearly older mentally. She is honestly more mature than some adults I know, and physically she's 24. I won't say I don't get where the outrage from her age comes from, but Oda wrote her as an adult. And I appreciate that he didn't go with the 1,000-year-old in a child body cliche, which in my opinion is so much worse. This gets dicey, spicy, controversial, because there are some cultural differences between the manga otaku culture in Japan with some people, and we're getting over here in the West, clearly, obviously. Okay? I will say that because she has the age fruit now, the least I can say is that it's sus, because she is literally changing her age. If you can literally change her age, it's a bit. You could argue it's like, well, I mean, technically, she is 24 years old, not 12. Technically speaking, which is like, oof, I don't. Yeah. And it seems to be worse than Momonosuke, because Momonosuke, I don't think most people. Momonosuke was 8, even younger than Bonney, but is now 28 or 26 years old. So it's oofy. It's very oofy. Very oofy. Don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. I wish it was simple and straightforward, but Oda wants to make it more complicated.
I think this is like kind of cheap. They just said on Twitch right now that her powers can also affect her mental age. To be completely honest, I think like people are just trying to find a cheap way just to, how should I say this?
Sin.
How to reasonably be allowed to. That's it.
Sin City wasn't made for you.
Not sin.
Angels like you.
I do not believe that her powers affect mental age. I don't believe so.
So the idea is that the guy said that basically, okay, well, because we see the Marines at Shibuya Archipelago, when they turn to babies, they start to cry. When you have the old men, they start actually saying like older men sayings and quotes. The idea is that they actually change the mental ages too. Like Momonosuke, for example, and I gave this theory before. Momonosuke, we know, is mentally an 8-year-old child, but he's now in the body of a 20-year-old stud, phenom. What if, let's say, there's a 4-year time skip, and then, technically speaking, Momonosuke is now mentally a 12-year-old, but he has the body of a 32-year-old man. If he has a kid at that point in time, let's say 4 years later, is that cool or not cool?
It's not cool.
It depends on how you view like physical and mental aging. It depends.
Yeah, I feel like it's
that's all.
Oda's taking this concept. He's kind of making all sorts of wonky stuff with it. That's what Oda's doing right now.
Oda's a freak. Oda's a freak. We always knew.
No, here's the thing, that Oda's not being clear, especially since, remember, the transcript, the manuscript of this chapter is incomplete, so we don't have the full context.
I don't think it's gonna change so much so to where Bonnie's not gonna be like 18 years old coming out of this all.
Keep in mind though, Cole, I mean, Odin, look at the stuff that Odin was doing when he was a kid. So, I mean,
that's what I said, right?
That's not a huge stretch.
Like, Odin was a child and he was going to the pleasure quarters and no one better than I. Like, he was literally frolicking when he was like 13.
Odin was built
different. Bonnie is
Momonosuke's built different.
Yeah, Bonnie's 12.
Now he is. Now he
maybe 13. It depends on how early she was born before. Ginny
Right.
left.
Right. So
This is one of the most fucked up chapters ever in One Piece.
Oh, you know, I love how we all had our theories of, Bonney is Ginny with her memories removed, or
This is
Bonney and
one of
Luffy are
the
clones
worst.
made from Ginny
That was a
DNA.
clone coping. Clone coping.
And then Oda's like,
Those theories.
and then Oda just comes in and says, those are adorable theories, but have you considered this?
yeah, bro.
Right.
The
I mean,
there's
hold
so much-
on,
I mean,
hold on, hold
To be
on.
fair,
At the
that
end
was a
of the
theory
day-
for a while. People thought that. I think I remember seeing you guys talk about last week too. We talked about the idea that she was actually like a young child, but I mean the fact that she is now, but also she has the age fruit. It makes things like extra weird. Like the fact that Bonney is now in a more dangerous camp of risk and sus compared to, let's say, Sugar, who actually looks like a child but is genuinely 22 years old or like much older than she looks.
No,
It's like,
she is
bro.
22. She is 22.
Yeah, so it's like, bro, like in what
both-
timeline are we in right
it's all
now?
fucking
Like this
weird.
is a wonky world.
Yeah, because Oda's a freak. That's what.
That's the
normal
one
in Japan.
possibility is that Bonnie is basically becoming her future self.
Yeah, it's not aging. It's like time
Timeline.
travel in a way. Yeah, timeline travel.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
remember how she has the power where she does the alternate timeline thing? Like where she gets really bulky and beefcake out?
Altered future.
Altered future.
Distorted future, right. So
Right,
the idea is
that's
that
why I think it's possible.
So this is why the guys before on my Twitch chat, the Phantom Fire, he said before how like her powers affect also mental age too. So it's the idea that she's actually traveling in some way or like accelerating someone's body in her own body in physical actual time.
Yeah, that she's
Actually,
pulling
that's
her
fine.
future self to the present, basically.
This is such a busted ability. She has to be awakened.
Well, here's the thing.
no.
Remember when she was turning the Marines into babies? They were
Yes.
not acting like adults. They were acting like babies.
Like babies, exactly. Yeah, so that's right. Yeah, so that's what the guys before
That's
to Phantom Fire.
So
Yeah.
that's a possibility.
mean-
but if that is not the case, all you guys are in big trouble.
I mean, to be fair though, babies really only have like 3 emotions: laugh, cry, and who the fuck are you?
Right, that's what I mean.
Nothing is
but
nothing
if they
is
were
ever
an
that
adult,
simple, Dick.
if they were an adult just in a baby's body, then they probably would, if they still had their mental faculties, then they would.
Yeah.
act like
That's very complicated. That's
And
a
then also
very
too the
complicated-
idea, and then also too like the idea with Bonnie is that Bonnie, if she's actually changed somebody's direct time, and because her normal form is her 22, 24-year-old form. That's her like her normal state, and it kind of feels like that's kind of like a Chopper thing now, where Chopper's normal form that he uses most of the time is his Chibi Ubu Q form,
Yeah,
but
that's his default.
technically his base form should be a deer.
Yeah.
He should be on all fours, running around eating grass. That's his actual
Yeah,
true
no.
form.
What is it? Walk Point is his true form.
Yeah.
When we see it all the time, that's his hybrid form.
But can we talk about the fact that she set sail then when she was 10 years old, but the timeline wise doesn't really match up?
No,
Like,
it
what
was
happened in that
Jimmy-
year? What
No.
what happened in that year between when Kuma said she was supposed to die
Mm.
and when she set sail?
We'll find out in 2 chapters.
Because it's
That was
6 years
12
ago,
years
right?
ago.
She should,
No,
she
that
should
was-
be
no, that was
right. So
12
she
years.
should be like 12, 11 years. Oh, from present
She-
day, it's
It's 12. It's 12. She's
Oh.
12. Yeah.
If she's 12 years old, and then she grows older, and she's like 22 years old, that means kind of that. So like let's say in the pre-time skip, that means that she's technically, or let's say she's venturing off at that point in time as an adult woman with adult woman faculties. When she's like, let's say
10.
12 years
She's
ago,
10.
or 10, yeah. So her base state is 10, but if her brain does adopt to the age change, then she does
She's
gain.
20.
Then she's 20, exactly, or whatever age she needs to be. Because I feel like, oh man, the issue is that this kind of feels like what we got with S-Snake in Oda's SBS comments, and that's because I read this before too, where you had Oda talk about how S-Snake technically they're not turned to stone because she's hot, but it's because she's cute, and even if you do think she's hot, it doesn't matter. You can hide your tendencies, like have fun. Like that's what Oda's doing essentially, and it feels like
where
this
is this headed?
These are all very interesting theories, but I just want us to all recognize that this is some industrial copium to get around Bonnie's age.
I've just
you-
given everybody.
arguably in a lot of ways it kind of
potential
is.
I'm throwing everybody a potential lifeline here. I don't know that it's true. You guys are all in trouble if it's not. but I'm saying there's one potential lifeline
I-
for all you guys. And Odin.
I'm not. I was never a simp.
Oh, okay. Well, you're fine
Okay,
then too,
so
Steele.
Bonney-
Well, you're a part of the chat that is, so you're kind of screwed.
Oda,
This
in
is
a weird
weird.
way, there is confirming that baby Hancock is an ooh-woo thing for most people.
Yes.
That it's not a
but
sexual thing.
Not sexual. But at the same time, when you look at all these characters in the story, whether it's Blackbeard, whether it's Sanji, whether it's Oda himself drawing Bonney in certain poses, like that upside down, inverted, when she had those guys kind of turn to corpses immediately, and then they wind up actually going back in time. It's like, hold on. It's not like all these poses, all these outfits, all these things are not extra weird because she's 12, essentially. But she's not 12, she's
Oda's
20-ish.
Oda's lucky he doesn't have Interpol on his ass.
Sure he does.
It's just weird. It's just weird as but here we are. We live in this world now where it's like, you know, well,
No,
that's what Oda's
speaking-
doing essentially. Let's take it at face value, okay? At face value, technically by law, the lolicon is cool because it's basically fictional, not real, whatever, who cares, right? You draw
As of
something,
now,
who
as of now in Japan,
Yeah,
as of now in Japan,
Even in the US, I
yes.
don't really think there's any laws against purely fictionalized stuff like that.
But no, the Supreme Court case was in 2008, and they said,
was a kid.
yeah, there's a Supreme Court case, and they said basically, lolicon in manga form is art. It is protected under free speech.
Yeah, it's where the hentai is art meme came from.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If it is purely fictional,
Okay,
then it is
correct.
legal.
I make sure that we understand this in a general sense here, because the idea is that, because obviously, given what Oda's been drawing with Bonney and all these different poses and activities and so on, I mean, we literally saw Bonney like shirtless early in this arc. Unironically, it's like, okay, people say, oh, like Oda's.
No,
in reality,
that has not been something I have. That's not been something I have seen. Now, to be fair, when this chapter dropped, Japan has an issue with this chapter.
Oh, they do,
because of Guinea, not Bonney.
What the fuck?
There was a large sentiment.
You know, of course,
there is a large sentiment in Japan that believes Oda went too far in this chapter.
Why? Because Kuma got cucked by a celestial dragon? No, I'm kidding.
Because people didn't think that needed to be explicitly in the manga. People didn't believe that action needed to explicitly be in the manga, when the way Oda handled it with Boa and Viola was to just not talk about it.
Much more circumspect. This was outright.
Viola obviously was addressed in an SBS. Not everyone who follows the manga reads the SBS. And when it comes to Boa, it's heavily with the Boa sisters rather. It's heavily implied, or not heavily, I guess. It is implied that stuff may have happened to them as well, but never touched on.
Wait, Twilight, I have a question for that then. Do you think it's because of the changing times that now it's a little more inclusive to bring it up? Or do
No,
you
it's
think
because
still a really hard
Well, no,
topic to bring up?
it's the same thing that happened with Film Red. It's that people still view One Piece as more of a kids manga.
You can
So
argue
for that to be
Well, it
explicitly
is,
in the
it is,
for
right.
for that to be explicit,
Kind
so
of.
for that
It's
stuff
kind
to
of.
be in the. Well, the thing is, Oda says it too. He loves when kids read his story. He wants it to be
Right, but at the same
kid-friendly.
time, he also makes it so like you have Nami's mom get executed in front of her by Ara. That's not something that kids should be seeing. You know,
Well,
that's not
and
a kids thing to show.
And here's the thing. On Sabaody, the Celestial Dragon, whatever his name was, Charlos, he took the nurse as his 13th wife.
Yes.
What did we think was going on there?
What
I mean,
happened,
obviously,
right, yeah.
this theme has been present.
And then
for
shot the
many
husband too.
years at this
Shot
point.
the husband, and then the
And,
husband was going on down.
In Oda's defense, he was not explicit about it. It was just Ginny was made a celestial
Right,
dragon.
but again, that's always, and I've explained to you guys in VCs now for the last couple of days here, and no one wants to listen to me.
Oh.
The reason why Japan has a problem, or the reason why I saw Japanese people having a problem with it, is that now it is explicit.
I don't think it's explicit
You could
at all.
you could imply, well, you could you could imply, you could infer for
Yes.
a lot of the other actions that happened prior. This
Of
is
course.
the first time where it is no longer implied or explicit.
You
It
have
is
a baby.
Definite.
No, I'm saying like the most obvious answer is what Clyde's saying. That, you know, yeah, like the celestial dragon did what he did, and then he got a kid, which was
Yeah,
unfortunate.
Occam's
but,
razor.
Yeah.
See you. Bye bye.